What's up, everybody? This is Crap Gamer, and this is BGST, the one and only podcast, coming at you. Big Gamer Small Talk, Sunday. And we are happy to be here and happy to be in your ear. And we are talking all the gaming news. Cannot wait to get started. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today. We've got some special guests with us. Actually, we've got one special guest sitting in for Tim, who was out there earning his yellow belt at a karate tournament. We've got GKB, otherwise known as the Governor. What's up, brother?
What's going on, dude? I feel like I'm at a monster truck rally or some shit.
I've been experimenting with some different radio voices and stuff. It's been kind of funny. We did M&C mornings this morning, and I had like this little commercial with some shirts and stuff. And some people were dogging me about it, right? But here's the thing: I sold 6 shirts off of that. I shit you not. Nice, 6 shirts. People bought gaming in 4K makes you a better gamer. People were like, that shirt is dope. And the next thing you know, I kept saying, you made a sale. Def Jam Bam bought 2 of them shirts.
Damn.
A green and a black one.
They don't sell the size. You're going to sew that motherfucker together.
Did anybody get the Crap is Right shirt yet? I
don't know, but they should, man, because Crap was right about some stuff.
They need to amend that damn thing. They need to put GKB and Crap was right.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? Look, Crap is a dope. I had that shirt, but then that sold out. So now we got the Crap is Right shirt. So that's hopefully going to sell. Yeah, it sold out, man. They're like, hey,
is it crap on dope or
no?
Is
crap
it
is a dope.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's crap is a dope, man. But yeah, GKB, man, this is your first time on BGST.
Yeah, man.
Welcome, man. I appreciate you coming in here and helping us out tonight.
First time I get to do a podcast with Z, so this is gonna be fun.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother?
Z's cool. He's just shaking off a little bit of that ass whooping he took. I was watching him on Beam.
I got stomped out on Beam, man.
I have never seen somebody get their ass kicked that bad on Killer Instinct.
Listen,
it was the most spectacular ass whooping of all time.
It was. I felt bad for the guy.
Because he's like, that's all I play is like fighters and sports, man.
No, I haven't played that fight. Listen, I haven't played that fighter in a year, bro. You know what I mean? That's what I'll be good. Listen, 2 more days, I'm back rocking and rolling.
All right, I'm gonna check it out in 2 days.
Hey, hold on. He had this look on his face. He's like, I didn't even know it was my turn. He's like, what are you doing?
I'm setting up BGST and they sneaking me.
That's hilarious.
He just had this look on his face. Like if somebody recorded that face, man, you'd probably be on a thumbnail.
Are you gonna see an exposed video? It's gonna be floating around YouTube.
He just had this look on his face, like, what the fuck?
He plays no games. Like, look, yeah. He plays no games.
Hey, I gotta say, man, I follow Z on Beam, and that dude is constantly on Beam now. It's like Zaire went live on Beam, and I'm like, damn, again? And he's like,
I got some me time. I finally got a nurse from my grandmother, so I ain't not wiping old ass anymore. I got
no lie. I was doing the whole rock band, like community rock out thing. Yo,
I was watching, dude. I watched that. And sometimes I can't like be in the chat, but yeah,
I went live twice while I was doing that, man. I was like, holy shit, dude.
I got some me time, and it's easy to use. It's much better than Twitch. No fanboy stuff. If you guys are into live stream, I know it's small. So right now, if you guys want to get on and and grow your brand, it's not that many people on Beam. And as far as latency, is really I got to give Microsoft kudos. Before I was kind of slamming it, but I like it a lot better than Twitch, I must say.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting is I'm sitting there typing to next gen, and he gets it right away. Yes, he's like responding like right away, and I'm just like, I forgot. That's like so fast. Yeah. And he's like, "What time we doing BGST?" I'm like, 7:30, bro. Yeah, you know, he's like, "Hop in here." I'm like, "I'm preparing topics."
Yeah, man. Cloud.
That is awesome, man. And we got Xbot and K Mega. What are you guys up to, man?
Rockstar Xbot from now on, man.
Yeah.
Or Ponybot OK8. I'm getting all these names right now. It's not even 1 minute. I almost feel like crap.
What are you playing? Guitar Hero? What have you been playing?
I was playing Rock Band 4, man. I do it every Sunday before the show.
I have Rock Band, don't I? I have one of them. Yeah, I got Rock Band. Rock Band.
You could join in with me, man. And then, I'm lead guitar though. That's all I gotta say, man. You be the lead singer, man. I get a lot of shit about my lead singer because it's a girl. And so every time I get like, I pick a song where there's a guy lead singer, all of a sudden, like she's taking testosterone or something like that.
Deep?
Yeah, she gets real deep. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but that was cool too, man, because I was like kicking around. It's cool that everybody's doing so much content and stuff. Okay, Mega, what are you doing, man? I heard you got bad internet connection or something. That's what Z was saying.
Yeah, that's what Z always saying. That's why I got the video of the Lost Files getting his ass whooped. No, bang, bang. I'm just like, damn, man.
I have the whole video up. Crap, you've seen it.
Look, I got that's the video, man. It's there.
You got your red.
It's there. Then put it up. Put it up.
It is up.
All right, okay, all right. That's what I'm saying. People see it for itself. They heard your ass crying, talking about you was whooping my ass, but you was still getting your ass whooped. We're gonna do it again. People been asking for
30 matches.
Okay, the rematch will come. People been anticipating your ass.
We played 40 matches. I lost 4.
Oh my God! Okay, we gonna see the video. They know better than that.
Come on,
put it on beat, man. After the show, let's do it.
Yeah, make it happen.
I'm with that. Oh, and big shout out to Russell Westbrook. Sit there and hit that. Definitely got himself solidified of getting that MVP. Hit the game-winning shot tonight and made history by becoming the only player to have all these triple doubles. Have 42 triple doubles. The only player in NBA history. So. That's just solidified.
Still averaging a triple double, man? I just want to know. Is he still averaging it?
Oh yeah, it's already done. There's only like I think 2 games left in the season, and he already eclipsed
like Oscar Robertson right there, man.
Yeah, just something that I've been lasting for like 55 years. So 52, 55 years.
Oh, let me say one thing before we go.
And I've been playing the shit out of NBA 2K17. So
I just want to say one thing before we start the show. These guys they sent me a 35-cent donation, so I had to give them a shout out before we start the show. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. You know what I'm talking about. Shout out to you. Everybody, I got blank right now. I'm looking for his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know that person.
Yeah, that person. Thank you for sending me 29 cents. I appreciate it. For following, for rocking out with me on Beam. I'm sorry, everybody on Beam. Shout out to you guys. Let's go. We got the day, crap.
Hell yeah. Well, man. Well, you know what? There was. I'm trying to think if there was any big news this week.
I think it's kind of slow, man.
You know, it was kind of a slow week, but there was this thing where they revealed the Xbox Scorpio, and yeah, man, I gotta tell you what, dude, that was a good day. There's been a lot of good days since then. The unbelievable thing is the amount.
That was a fucking great day, bro. What the hell are you talking about?
Exactly. It was a busy day too, GKB, because I tell you what, everybody and their mother was wanting to talk about this, and I gotta say, some of the better highlights of this reveal were the fact that DX12 was built right into the console.
Nobody saw that, man. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, it was interesting because I remember when me and Zaire were peddling DX12 like drug dealers, we were like, yeah, man, we got some DX12.
Yo, we got that DX12 over here. Come on, man. We got that.
Hey, crap, can't nobody damage control like me and you, man. We can put
I know, dude. And to our credit, man, we're at least honest about it and joke about this stuff, right? Like it's a lot of it is just for fun or clowning around.
Crap, we was dead serious. It's funny that we was dead serious back then, though. Crap.
Well, dude, we were like, man, DX12, man, it's gonna allow for better resolutions, better this, better that. I mean, we weren't on the level as Mr. X, but we were a little bit out there. we were kind of out there. Yeah, secret sauce. And although I'm on record, you can go back and listen. Years ago, I said I hated that term, secret sauce. It sounded like something stupid or whatever. I was like, it's not even secret sauce. It's pretty easy what it is. But hearing that the Scorpio has it built in, so any games that are going to be running DX12, which is pretty much all the EA games right now, all the first-party Microsoft stuff. Yeah, a lot of even like the Hitman game that's running it. All these games that run it, you're going to have half the CPU usage. So that's when you're going to see a really good bump for the frames per second. So remember, like I've had GKB. He's on my Wednesday podcast. We've talked about this as well, where we had this leak of these games, and we were questioning like, how would Battlefront 2 be native 4K 60 frames, and how would Battlefield 1 get that? Like, how would that happen? Because those are very intensive engine as far as Frostbite 3, and then we find out that this is the reason why. So all those games are going to be like that on Scorpio, and so now we kind of got confirmation about that. What do you guys think about that? I mean, like Battlefront 2, Call of Duty, all these games, man, running 4K 60. That's impressive as hell to me.
Well, it is. I just want to say that. First of all, am I pretty clear? You guys can hear me clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I guess now we more or less know why they didn't go at Ryzen. First, because it came up with compatibility issues with working with older games, and it's still, like I said, it's not a new generation. I know people were slamming the Xbox One for that. Oh, Microsoft moved the generation. No, even Digital Foundry themselves said that is a mid-gen refresh, just like the PS4 Pro. But like I said, but by them using, we're putting DirectX 12 directly on the chip, it cuts the commands down from even hundreds of thousands of commands down to like 11.
Somebody's Darth Vadering.
Is it me?
I don't know who it is.
Hello.
Somebody's doing what?
Fucking Darth Vadering into the mic. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh no, I'm talking.
My mic's like 30 miles away from my mouth, so. Man, I know when I get on with crap, man, I gotta be on top of this shit. Like,
no, I'm just like, I'm trying to hear Z, and all I hear is breathing.
Like, it's probably Xbox Poot. You know, he keep his mic next to his ass.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
What the fuck?
No, you guys have started something, because now even my wife is like, we gotta go get you a mic. You know, like,
seriously, man.
Dude, Xbox called into MNC this morning, right? And the first thing I hear is a fucking mic all adjusting and shit. And I'm like, my ears, you know, like. Yeah.
I have to do that on purpose for MNC, because I say I call from the Bin Laden cave, man. You know?
Yeah. Hey, are you Ponybot on PS4?
No, everything is Xbot. Yo, people got mad. They're like, yo, you should be Ponybot and stuff like that. I was like, man, I keep it simple. For everybody who follows me, it's just Xbot 448 across the board. So
someone added me as Ponybot 448.
Really?
Yeah.
I got an impersonator, man. I'm coming up in the world. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, is that Xbox? Is that Xbox?
Yeah,
thing?
no,
I don't know.
That is not me. Do not share your information.
No, it's all good. I mean,
he said he needs your social.
I don't know if it was Tim or Crap that was talking to L Mega on Twitter. That had me dying. Because I thought it was you. He was actually having a conversation with him for me. I
thought it was him for a while too. You know what? But at least with him though, he's not disrespectful. You can have a conversation with him. He's not.
I thought it was you, man.
I got him the other day because Hard 8 was coming in there acting a fool, and he called me a pussy or whatever. And so I laughed. He said, "El Mega, you're a pussy." And so I hit up El Mega and I said, "Hey man, you gonna let Hard 8 talk to you like that, man?" You said that's a good one, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna let him talk to you like that? So yeah, man.
It is what it is. But anyway, as I was saying though, with the chip, from what we learned, that it cuts down, not to be too technical, thousands of commands that the CPU handles, and I mean hundreds of thousands, and it cuts it down to like 11 or 9. They were saying, and that
it was I think it was 11 or
But I also it can be as low as 9. 11 it can be as low as 9, and that frees so much CPU overhead. But again, your CPU feeds your GPU. But what they also explained too. So don't expect a spec of 60 frames on some games if the engine was made for 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a good point too, because I watched that 2Z and I was like, okay, that's interesting, because you know, sometimes us at Xbox can get a little bit overzealous with stuff too. And we're like, yeah, man, we want this game in 60 and this game in 60, but if the engine is built for 30, then you're not going to get a 60.
No, you're not.
Especially open world games. Most of the engines for open world games, they're built for 30.
Yes.
All right? So
30.
Don't automatically think that like Grand Theft Auto 5 is now going to run 60 frames per second on the Scorpio, because you know that's just a dream for you. That's not going to happen.
It still has to be compatible, unless they're going to do some special out of the coding or whatever. It still has to be compatible for the original Xbox One and the original PlayStation 4. You know?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
But anyway, go ahead. GKP talk. What do you think about it?
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah.
Like what you're saying about like the the game engines and all that kind of stuff, that's totally true. Like day one, your stuff's not going to be like 60 FPS and all that kind of stuff. Now, that being said, though, they can patch the games to get 60 and stuff like you see on the Pro as well too. So I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibilities and all that kind of stuff. But going back to what you were saying about like the architecture and all that kind of stuff, you know, if they went with Ryzen and all that kind of stuff, it would definitely indicate like a new generation. And Microsoft was very clear from the beginning of, no, this is just a refresh. This is just kind of an update and all that kind of stuff too. So I'm really excited about it, because what I thought was impressive about the whole Scorpio thing is just the design itself. Like it takes efficiency to the max, right? So that's why they can do the stuff that they're doing with, I don't want to say like weaker stuff, but older tech.
Yeah.
It's just because of the design itself. Like they're offloading a bunch of workload and stuff off the CPU, putting it in other places and stuff like that. And that's really going to open up all those CPU cycles.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think was I think it's the DirectX 12, not on the chip that they've had like that again frees up so much. And then people say, oh my god, Jaguar is using it. But
I didn't understand it either, man. It's like everybody's like freaking out about Jaguar. I was just like, that's fucking awesome. That means it's going to be cheaper than what we thought, probably, right?
Exactly. That was the thing that I was going to point out was that Microsoft has done something that even from the very beginning, from the very first Xbox One, where they've innovated and they've gotten us to where we want to buy digital games now. That was at one point in time almost unheard of. Now, with this, with what they're doing with the Scorpio, they're using old components, like GKB said, and it's going to make the system cheaper. I think it's going to be cheaper than what we've all thought it was going to be. I really do, especially like with returns and everything, where like people want to bring back an older Xbox One. I mean, I think they're really going to try to compete with that 350. I really do.
I wanted to say
I really do. Like with the bring it, like if you go and you have they'll have a deal at GameStop or whatever, and they'll say like you just bring in your old Xbox, then they'll give you $100 off. I think they're going to do it like $100 off or whatever, $50 off, whatever, and make it to where it compete against the Pro. I don't think Microsoft is going to give Sony an inch. I really don't.
See, here's the thing, yo. When it comes to the chipset and everything like that, nobody thought of having DX12 hardware in between the CPU and the GPU. No. So with that being said, they modified the shit out of Jaguar cores to the point where they can't even call them that. They call them, they just say x86 cores because they have been so modified that you can't even call them Jaguar. And Digital Foundry, when they do a reveal or they say something about Xbox, they use that Jaguar name in there to kind of bring it more back to the Pro. It's a little subconscious thing there. But
here's the other thing too, like Digital Foundry too, like kind of got a little bit of an ass whooping because Microsoft called them up and said, hey, you need to adjust your article, right? They actually stated now with the DX12 stuff that it was actually in the original Xbox One and the S. Yeah. So
to a certain extent it was, but they have more. It's more advanced. It's more technical than what it was before. I've talked to people who actually devved with the systems and stuff like that. They said, yeah, there were components in there that were DX12, but nowhere near what they're doing with the Scorpio.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as like the architecture and like people want to say it's above Jaguar, it's really not. It's definitely the same thing. Like Digital Foundry even came out again and said in another video when they were talking about stuff that actually no, it's the same CPU that is in the Xbox One. And actually, if you listen to like Major Nelson's podcast with Albert Pinello and all that kind of stuff, he's even making mentions to it's not as simple as just grabbing a Jaguar. He made mention to Jaguar a bunch of different times. So I just want to be clear out there to everybody out there. It definitely is a Jaguar. And that's not a bad thing. Like they're fucking doing,
but they won't even list that name in the specs. They just say x86. Like they won't.
Because the stuff they're probably doing is like under NDAs and stuff. They can't just simply say, "Hey, it's this."
It's been so modified that, like, yeah.
I know what I'm saying. Check it out. I just one thing. I'm gonna shut the hell up, and you guys can take over it. I think another thing that went over a lot of people's heads is that Rich said from Digital Foundry that. For the bottlenecks, people could say, "Oh, you know what? That was one thing that Crappy talked about as far as the Pro, about it bottlenecking when you're still using the Jaguar stuff, CPU, whatever the case, and them having this big, powerful GPU in the Pro." Is that Microsoft normally developers make the software, the API for the hardware. Microsoft made the hardware for the software. So all of the engines that we have now that we've been, gaming for the last 3-4 years, whatever the case. They worked out all the bottlenecks, you know what I mean? So there's not going to be any problems. And it's one thing you said that's never been done before. That's like I said, it was told to me that everything that we've been playing since 2013 up until now, whatever case, the Scorpio won't have an issue with achieving 4K. Now, maybe as time goes on, engines become more graphically demanding, and maybe that's when that what's called rendering 4K or checkerboard 4K, whatever they're going to call it. Maybe that would take into place. But what we have now, and what we've been enjoying for the last 4 years this year, come November, Scorpio won't have a problem. Working. I think it was like 60 some odd engines or something that Digital Foundry said that they went in and worked the kinks out, and as they was making the hardware, so we're not going to have any issues. And for those people out there, I want to say this too, that don't have this is the new thing. Well, not everyone has a 4K television, and I've been saying this shit since 2013. Resolution does not determine better graphics. It's the shaders. Even if you don't have a 4K television and you have a 1080p television, you're going to get 1080p downsampling. You know what I mean? It's going to look great.
Well, Z, exactly to your point. You can look at that Forza screenshot that they show, the 4K one. You can look at that on your 1080p. Like my monitor is 1080p, and you can still see a huge difference. So like, yes, and that's the main difference going forward with Xbox Scorpio. And one of the things that people will always look for something to harp on. How you can tell someone's a complete fraud at this particular juncture is if they try to downplay Scorpio as not being better than the Pro or being an amazing piece of technology. You know what I mean? If people are still trying to convince you that the Xbox Scorpio is not good, then you need to just unsubscribe from that person, stop following that person, because you know that they have just completely talked out of their ass. Right? Look. Yeah, exactly. Like, listen, next gen. We admitted that the PS4 Pro is the most powerful console, and for what it is right now. But when Scorpio comes out, and the reason why it's going to really destroy the Pro is simply the fact that it does the bandwidth memory is so much higher, and it's got the extra memory, which allows for them to use the 4K art assets and all that kind of stuff. That's the difference, the textures and things like that. The PS4 Pro, while it can do higher resolutions, it's not using 4K textures and assets. It's just it's a higher resolution, but you're not getting any more detail or anything like that from that.
And the way that just confirmed that too, man. Like they've done analysis on those games, and literally it was just pretty much an up-res, maybe some more ambient inclusion and stuff like that, but nothing to warrant the price of a PS4 Pro. You know, I was going back and forth with like getting a PS4 again or the Pro, and I went with the PS4, and I'm glad I did because I didn't see the value in the Pro at all.
Well, that's the reason why I got the Sony myself.
The regular PS4 Pro, the regular PS4 actually, in most cases, when it comes to most games, actually performs better, has steadier frames and everything like that than the Pro. I look at the Pro as like one of the biggest cash grabs I've seen in the gaming industry. Like
it was made by a Shade Tree mechanic. I promise you, it was rushed. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. I mean, it was rushed. They wanted to, like you said, it was a cash grab, and this really should expose a lot of people to what Sony is doing to the fan base instead of them always clamoring. But this is a good time for gaming because what the Scorpio is doing is revolutionizing gaming to another level. This is what we've been waiting for. A lot of people's been upset about this generation so much because everybody was thinking that we were going to get that leap. Now we're going to get that leap with older components. That's really bizarre. I mean, it makes me even more excited about what they're going to do with the actual Xbox 2 or whatever the hell they're going to call it. So, and PlayStation's got to follow suit, and Nintendo can stay in their lane. I know you don't like hearing me saying that, Steve, but PlayStation has to follow suit because they started this narrative about power. Now they got to come true. They got to come.
You know what they should do if Sony was smart, but being that they hyped up resolution for so long and it turned around and bit them in the ass.
It's true.
As far as with the PS4 Pro, I will say this: it's a decent piece of hardware, 4.2 teraflops. Let's be clear then, okay? But it's forced to do this. Either they can give you a higher resolution, which I said because I went out and spent $400, and again, my television is going to upscale it regardless, right? I have a decent TV, but I would rather have better graphics. So I would rather have, if they can, 1080p 60, let it upscale to 4K or whatever with the upscaler, and give me better textures. That's all. And then that's the only way that they can even stand a chance again. With the Scorpio, you know what I mean? And then people gonna act like native 4K and check is not that big of a deal. But just, as from a gamer and consumer, because they can't give you both, like I said, because of the memory bandwidth. They can either give you better graphics or they can give you a higher resolution. And you're gonna get either 1400p or 1800p, you know what I mean? But I would much rather have 1080p, 60 or whatever or 30, and better textures by far. You know what I mean?
Yo, Z.
Z, like, go ahead. Sorry, brother.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, man, dude, that's one thing. Me and Z have been in the same boat about that. And for anybody who's clamoring around right now about like native resolution, I understand that 4K is a huge leap. All right, but when it's all said and done, when the PlayStation fanboys and stuff were talking about native 1080p, if you were one of those people who are like, well, 900p isn't that different, and it's not. In terms of overall graphics, doesn't make that difference. It's the graphical fidelity, it's the textures, it's the lighting, it's the shadows. That's what I'm excited for when it comes to the Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be pumped up about if we were kind of like telling people that the native resolution doesn't really matter. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And that's what I'm excited about is that Phil Spencer and them, they heard what we were talking about, and they're putting in the PC assets. They're putting in the 4K textures and stuff like that into the games. That's what I'm pumped about more than that 4K tag that's on the box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the other thing I want to add to that too, man, I think it's really impressive too, is that, like what you see on the PS4 Pro and all that kind of stuff, they have the different modes that you can switch back and forth to. Scorpio doesn't do that at all, right? It runs it at the max it possibly can, and all it does is just downscale down to whatever resolution your TV has. So it's going to run like 4K natively on the machine, but it's going to downscale all that and make it look much better at 1080p if you only have a 1080p screen. Like they took all that nonsense out that the PS4 Pro does. Developers don't even have to worry about other modes and stuff to do, so they made it easier for them. Like this is just a phenomenal piece of hardware.
You gotta realize this too, GKP, and I've always said this, when it comes to, and I give Sony the credit, when it comes to making things, the fact that they had this at the time in 2013, this powerful console in the PS4, and the power supply out, Sony, that's what they do. They keep, like, they make things. They are a hardware company, and Microsoft is a software company. So when it comes to software, they always will be leaps and bounds ahead of Sony. That's just not, that's not even damage control. That's just fact. Microsoft is a software company. Okay.
They took the development of Scorpio from like a software perspective. I mean, they took their Pixel development tool, took all this data from all these games and games engine, and then built
this time. They said they were the behemoth. You know what I mean? Like they really didn't cut any corners. And like I said, I take my hat off to Phil and those guys there. And I hadn't even seen the console. Like I don't care what the console looks like. It can be size of shape as the fucking toaster. Long as it works, I don't care. It's going under my goddamn TV. It may be a dusty in the mud. You know what I mean? I don't wipe shit off. I'm a slob. So as long as it works, I don't care about the size, all that's well and good. I don't have company when it comes to my house.
I don't know, man. I think you're going to be pretty impressed with it.
I heard. I
looks like the Foundry guy was like, I hope they show it like I saw it at the Microsoft camp. Like, holy shit, man, that looks really cool.
They said he did see it or whatever. The case may be. But I don't know. What do you, Crab? How do you feel? What's going on? Talk to me.
Yeah. Well, no, it's actually good to not have to talk for a change. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's cool. It's good conversation. I'm enjoying it. For me, I think that that the CPU stuff was going to be a point of contention for some people, but I always looked at it like, who cares what's in it as long as we're getting what was promised? Yep. Like, why ignore the promise that was kept and exceeded? Secondly, people were complaining. The media was complaining about the price of this thing, and they wonder why Microsoft didn't go to them with the reveal, right? Because even Digital Foundry, who is a little bit biased for Sony, let's be real. They were guessing $499, but then you have some of these outlets guessing $700+, and it's like, this thing doesn't have Ryzen or anything. Xbot. You know what I mean?
You put me on the spotlight with that?
Bots in the corner.
I am actually disappointed in that. All right. I'm highly impressed with what they have done with the components that they decided to use. All right.
Well, no, it was just funny, because last week you were like, guaranteed, man, Ryzen Vega.
Hold on now. Wait. But hold on, crap. Wait. I'm sorry, Xbox. I just had to say, I'm defending you, brother. I'm defending you. But everybody else on this panel, except for GKB. I know he's kind of crafty like that. I only worked with this man only one at a time before. He's really sneaky. No, I'm just playing. So everybody else has been wrong. I know. And I'm.
Yeah, and I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing. I speculated. I'm not a tech guy. I speculated. You know what I mean? GKB, to his credit, was right. Said all along it wasn't going to be
close.
Ryzen.
The closest out of everybody.
Yeah. So no, I just thought it was funny. Like for me, it was speculation. Like, people will try to come at you and go, "Oh crap, you guaranteed this." Please find me any video where I'm like, I guarantee it's this, because I've never said that. I said it could be. You know what I mean?
The question: if again, and maybe it took a lot longer to design, but if they weren't using Vega, they wasn't using Ryzen or whatever the case may be,
that means
they could still be using
3 years. We're going to see another Xbox. Yo, that's what it means.
Hey, they still could be using Vega tech somewhere in there, because if
Polaris has some stuff in Vega in it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But why do you think it didn't launch last year?
Probably, I don't know.
Question.
They're using the
That's a real good question. You know what? I think maybe because they seen how the checkerboarding situation went south with everyone, and I think that was going to be their first, premise. I think that white paper was actually true specs, and so when they seen the fallout from that, I think they went back to the drawing board and said, "Hey, look, let's just go ahead and change this up."
Well, here, this is what I'm thinking. We got the white papers this year. They were talking about rendering 4K, if I'm not mistaken, which is April. I think it came out around like January. But I think probably it was from a engine software point, because Rich said they took every engine, whatever, and worked out all of the bottlenecks before we got the actual console. And I guess that probably took a lot of time.
Yeah, and troubleshooting all those issues and trying to figure it out.
We found like 61 bottlenecks, man. And this is the first time they ever built the hardware around that shit.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Well, hey,
he was talking like Phil Spencer was like talking about like, premium and everybody went with like cost and all that kind of stuff, but not really, because if you look at like these techs and like even the board is matched with the CPU to get the correct voltage and all this kind of stuff. That's premium. That's what they're talking about when it comes to this. So they took the time, like Z was saying, just doing all the troubleshooting and all that kind of stuff.
What I'm gonna say? I'm gonna shut the hell up and let you guys talk again. But look, what I'm very, very impressed with, to be honest with you, and I think this is really going to be big within the YouTube community, that we can capture 4K 60 from the console without a what do you call it, Elgato or anything like that. 4K 60 straight from the console, And right now YouTube is supporting, like you said, 4K and all that stuff. To me, that's huge. That's really, really big. Like, God, they got to have a piece of a GPU for that shit there. That is huge, man.
Yo, Z, not only that, but in this day and age, that's huge in the promotion of the hardware, because like, you know me, man, we got a bunch of kids over here and they watch YouTubers playing games and stuff like that. If these YouTubers decide that, when they go to the console, that the only console they're going to is Scorpio, because they have that 4K 60 frames per second, the streaming is just as crisp as it can be and stuff like that, that is going to promote that hardware out to a massive community. This day and age, there are so many people watching YouTube and gameplay and streams and let's plays. It's going to be a huge thing, man.
The problem with that, like Xbox, like I totally agree with you, man. Like, the problem is like some of the marketing for some of those big games, like it looks like Sony's got, and unfortunately, like, and with the DLC deals, they always tend to go with whoever's going to get the DLC. So they have all these like million like subscribers for like Destiny and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the only part. Like, yeah, it's kind of
really weighs in. I mean, me personally, like you got the casual. I guess we consider here the hardcore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. We keep our finger on the pulse. But honestly, bro, I've never really bought a game for DLC. That's
me neither.
Me.
Well, no, I'm just talking from like a YouTuber.
I get that.
Well, I totally agree with you too.
Yeah, but again, even from a YouTuber perspective, they want the stream or the game to look in the best.
And they don't.
Yeah, but I mean,
if
you say like. Sorry,
my bad. They don't usually go with like the. If you notice, what is the most popular games that are being streamed on YouTube right now?
Like Destiny for one, absolutely.
But you have games like Hello Neighbor, fucking Gang Beasts,
I've seen people put a bunch of weird shit on Steam.
You see what I'm saying? They don't necessarily go for those AAA titles either. So even down there's actually a huge community that watches like the Hello Neighbor game, freaking. Gang Beasts is one of the reasons why we have a PS4 in the house. I'll let you know that right now, because that game is going to be fucking incredible to stream and have fun with, like, the community in the chat with, right? When it comes down to that, like, and you have the choice to use the console, if they're using the Xbox console, just look at Rad Brad, which the mooch, yo, he got me to be a Rad Brad fan. Like, Brad will say,
I almost died right there. If I get 1,000 likes, I'll upload part 2.
yo, no, but I'm saying, like, yeah, if this does good, then we'll go with a part 2 or whatever. But like, he doesn't necessarily. I can see him requesting for the Xbox One for when he gets a Scorpio, and he is big enough to request like which copy and stuff like that. Like, he has a real good kind of like business relationship with a lot of developers.
Yeah, Red Brad's pretty
like
even keel, like with games like that. But I mean, I totally agree. Like, you know, some of those games, yeah, absolutely, it's going to be big on, you know, the Xbox platform. But you can't take word of mouth and all that stuff is fantastic, but you can't take marketing out of this kind of stuff. Sony's been fantastic with their fucking marketing, you know, pretty much saying that the Destiny and all that kind of stuff is just exclusive to them, and people believe that shit.
Yeah.
Going forward, you know, you're still going to see that kind of stuff too, because to be honest, even with the Scorpio out right now, they still own the market share, man. So,
you know what? Let me say this. You know what? What Mike? You know what? And again, I've been saying, me and Crap has argued about this shit in the past. In my opinion, I don't know where the fuck Crap lives in Whoville, some goddamn where he's going. You always see these fucking Xbox Mountain Dew on TV. I don't ever see the Xbox on TV. But this, and I've said this, I don't understand how PlayStation, Sony, whatever, we made fun of their money issues in the past, and how they were able to out hustle Microsoft in the gaming division. You know what I mean? And just to compare to last year, I'm giving you an example. I was an OG Xbox fan. Bought it 01. I got it hot out the back of a trunk, but got Xbox Live in 02. Was a beta tester, and I was sold. I was been a big Xbox fan then, and I remember the days, even like I said before, from where the PS2 was huge. You know, mostly because of the DVD player and stuff. It was outselling the Xbox like 3-1. I mean, 1 month we won they won the NPD when Halo 2 came out, and they turned the profit for that month. And I remember me fucking gloat on the forums about that. But again, I say this: when the 360 came out, it seemed like at the start you had Jay Allen and all stuff, and they were very hungry. They were going door to door, and convincing, because what I'm saying, a lot of people don't know this, and that the big multi-plats of today, they were exclusives back in the PS2 era. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they did come to the OG Xbox. They came a year and a half later, 2 years later. I remember I had got Grand Theft Auto, the pack, the Miami one, but the PS2 just had got San Andreas. You know what I mean? So Sony always had that in their favor. You know what I mean? But then, like I said, when the 360 came out, Microsoft, it was very easy to develop for. You know, Sony hasn't always been. They was kind of like Nintendo. They had shitty tools. They would send. I heard this word of mouth from a dev. They would send these big companies, like whether EA, whoever, they didn't give a fuck. They would send them a dev kit and binary code with a bunch of Japanese letters. They had to figure the shit how to work it. It was horrible, right? And you had Microsoft going around pumping their fists, going door to door, helping the developers, make the games, just if they had any questions. So in the 7th generation, a lot of these games were coming out day and date, and they were running better, of course, on the 360, and it didn't take as much to get the games up and running, right? Now I say this, right? And just the marketing, and like I said, I kind of miss the days of Balmer, you know what I mean? I'm old school. If you want Xbox products or what, Microsoft, are you gonna buy Xbox products, right? But now it's not like that anymore, you know what I mean? And it just, I don't know if I don't know if they're more shrewd with the dollar. It's just like, even like, look when the Xbox One came out, right? You had that fancy commercial. Boom, they was in the streets marching. You had the big Titanfall, and you had the Rise. That was huge. I haven't seen another commercial like that since then. But Sony, you get one every year, especially around Christmas. You got the Wizard, the White Wizard, the Great Games Await. Like, they just been out hustling them. And right now, honestly, we got to unveil. Microsoft should have commercials out right now. Scorpio, project, most powerful company. We should be seeing that shit everywhere. They should. Well,
they're not. They only showed.
They haven't revealed it yet.
They haven't.
We don't have to reveal it. Hey, 4K game. Just show Project Scorpio.
Hey, you know what they need? You know what they need? They need to be wearing a 4K Make You a Better Gamer T-shirt that is designed, and then they just need to all be walking around just talking up this thing. But I agree. Also, part of the problem is this. Sony does multiple events a year, even smaller events, where they are advertising their lesser games. This is something that Microsoft should do in the future as well, because look, they have other things. It's not all just about, like they'll always prop up Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? But even some of the smaller stuff, like why not do a couple separate events like PSX and promote like Voodoo Vince, some of your smaller stuff, some of your indie games, maybe some DLC. I also noticed that they don't do single player DLC. Like, wouldn't you guys have liked to see some Quantum Break DLC or Halo 5 or Sunset did get 2 pieces of DLC, but that was Insomniac. But it's actually, that DLC is pretty good too, well worth it.
It's part of the story or just some multiple?
It's story related, dude. There's 2 story add-ons.
That was the thing that was bothering me a lot with last year when Xbox started getting the momentum during the summer, and then they kind of just left Gamescom alone. And I was thinking that was the perfect opportunity for them to just light it up. And what happened is that they did well over the holiday season, but what happened was the PlayStation experience, and they weren't anticipating that PlayStation was going to come out with the gloves off. And PlayStation had a fantastic show last year in December. And I think if they showed something at Gamescom, because they were the only ones that was going to show something, I think that they could have derailed that a little bit. But it's all hearsay now. It's gone. So I think that they need to
Sony's
bring
doing
that
this
up
year too.
This year. They definitely need to go out and show a lot of the Scorpio, a lot of the games that they're going to be having coming out.
But see, I think that's what like Sony's trying to do right now is combat, the Scorpio with, all these kind of like big AAA third-party exclusive kind of deals and stuff like that. That's what they're trying to go after, trying to take some of that steam away from the Scorpio. I think Scorpio is going to still do fantastic either way. But I hope Microsoft, Phil Spencer showed the first piece of the pie, like the Scorpio, right? So now his next piece of the pie is E3, and I think he needs to just fucking swing for the fences, just like he did with Scorpio. And I think he does. He might even have like a couple of surprises that we don't even know about. So,
I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm really excited. Well, this is just good for gaming all around the board. Like I said, this is. I mean, I'm saying Microsoft's innovation is changing the game, and I don't see why the people that hate Microsoft or Xbox don't see that. I mean, we've been in like Plymouth Rock this generation for too goddamn long. I mean, we really have. I mean, what I'm saying? PlayStation knew what they were doing when they came out. They didn't want to go crazy extravagant. They didn't want to make a super high-end crazy console. They wanted to make it basic. They knew that they wasn't going to have the games right up front, and everybody was enjoying that. They was cool with it. But then yet on the other hand, they would say that they were disappointed with this generation. Well, I mean, who do you blame? Microsoft, or do you blame the console leader? I mean, you really got to think about that.
I blame third party. And the reason why I say that, because I got so sick of the remasters and remakes. Like I just, that generation, which is over a year ago, I bought a new console to play new games and new experiences. And I said this, we talked about it before in BGST maybe 2 years ago. I don't care who it is. Like, I didn't buy a new console to play old games. Like, I bought all that shit for the 360, you know what I mean? Or the PS3 or whatever. I want new games. And you just comparing the sheer amount, the volume of new IPs that we got last generation compared to this generation, is not even close. You know what I mean? Look at the thing. Look at the stable IPs we have now. I'm gonna say this last thing. The stable IPs that we have now that are our AAA, Assassin's Creeds, whether it's the Gears of Wars, the Uncharted, or all that shit came from last generation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Besides Destiny, what else stands out this generation that's a AAA multiplayer?
Well, I mean, Battlefront's okay, I guess. I mean, that's a reboot, but I mean,
Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, really? I guess. But I mean, look, I think we're still getting a lot of good games. And again, I think so too. You know what, Z, I was with you with that whole, oh man, we get enough remaster and stuff. But then you see that we're taking all these games with us. So we might as well have the best versions we could possibly have.
What do you mean
when we take them with us? These things are all getting 16 times anti-aliasing and shit with Scorpio, right? Even your 360 games.
That's crazy.
Oh no, okay. Well, I'm talking about. I don't need it. All right, well, Brutal. I mean, the generation before, but them going back and giving me Assassin's Creed, whatever. Give me Assassin's Creed 2 from the 360. I don't need that shit again. I want new stuff.
Well, the one thing that I think that you're missing, Z, is that the one thing that the PC gamers can brag upon is when they play these older games, it almost feel like they're new because they look so well. And so what will happen is that when people that just primarily play consoles, they'll see, damn, this Call of Duty World at War looks insane on the Scorpio. And they'll start rebuying it, or they'll just start playing it. And then I think that's another strategy that I think that Xbox is trying to do. I don't have a problem with the older games with like Voodoo Vince and Phantom Dust. I think it's a test trial to see if these people are going to gravitate to these older games.
I don't have a problem with backwards compat if they want to do that. But I'm gonna be honest, I bleed green. Who the hell asked for Voodoo Vince?
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I agree.
No one bought it on the OG Xbox. And I doubt if anyone's gonna buy it now. Who the hell asked for Phantom Dust?
Well, look, it's $15.
Hey, I asked for Phantom Dust. I was in the chat. I wanted that game. That's a good ass game, man. That's original. That is an original fighter. There's no other fighter like it. None.
It's $15, guys. I mean, look. Here's the thing. It's like, why does Xbox people got to be so, I guess, like negative with this?
Why? Crap, because we have standards, man. I get
what you're saying.
We have some of the highest standards too.
Yeah, we do. Like but look, we don't want something going. You don't need that.
Just look how excited the Sony fans are about like Crash Bandicoot. You know what I mean?
They got a third grade education. Most of them crap. Got a third and they eat boogers. I'm just saying, like, come on, crap.
All right. Well, let me move on to something real quick. Like, I just wanted to say that a lot of the media, the negative reaction towards the Scorpio reveal kind of was baffling. And shout out to over 400 watching us. Please hit that like button.
Yeah, hit that like button.
We appreciate it. Yeah.
In the comment section.
Come out here and support us. It's always fun to do BGST. But I just want to say that, some of the negative reaction and things I think isn't warranted. And a lot of it has to do with just these butthurt people that the media that is angry that Microsoft
gave Digital Foundry
didn't go to them. Yeah, they didn't go to them. They went to Digital Foundry.
Crying little babies out in the fucking playground that didn't get their swing.
Exactly. I mean,
right? Look at even Ryan McCaffrey and stuff on Podcast Unlocked. Those guys were like fucking dead on that podcast. They were Scorpio just revealed, and they're just like,
I don't understand his angle. Like listen, I'm not disrespectful. I don't treat anybody. And he's supposed to be the Xbox. Well, the power is good, but what about the games? Like, all we heard is generation. This is what I don't understand, and I call bullshit. This whole generation has not been about games. It's been about frames per second and resolution. Fact. And it's not no fanboy shit, but it was so bad that we couldn't even enjoy our betas. Or the betas in 720p. We're not talking about.
We're talking like it was final game code, bro.
Again, we're not talking about the star map. We're talking about big public IGNs and the whoever.
We're not talking about a game, Z. We're talking about practice.
Practice. Exactly. Practice. You know what I mean? Like, it's been bad. So now everyone's forget. And again, of the game, they act like the Xbox Scorpio, whatever, don't have any games coming out. Let me say the hell. I said this before. Blame it on the Adderall. But it's with
Adderall fell off the back of a truck, right?
Yeah. 2.5 years, right? All Sony's had, again, and this is the truth, they've had Bloodborne, The Last of Us Remastered, basically, and the best version of the multi-plat. Fact, okay?
And Uncharted 4, and you could say Horizon.
I said 2.5 years. For the first 2.5 years, all the day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So fact. So again, but this holiday season, they act like Destiny 2 is not coming out. They act like Call of Duty's not coming out. They act like
Red Battlefront, Red Dead 2,
and they're all gonna look and run better on the Scorpio. Now, whether you like what's that State of Decay 2, or whether you like Uncharted, that's up for but it's gonna have the better version of the multi-plat.
Yeah, I agree. Here, I'm gonna do an impersonation of the typical mainstream media. Okay, here we go. Xbox's exclusive lineup is totally embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. It's terrible. Nobody asked for a more powerful Xbox. Who asked for this? Did you ask for a more powerful Xbox? No, of course not. Nobody asked for that. It's ridiculous. Nobody asked for that. They have no games. Power, but no games. What are you gonna do? No games. Okay, so this is what they say. They say
that's the check that Sony is giving them every time they talk about Xbox.
Well, listen. Here's the thing: when they say no games, and people say that to me, and I say exactly what you just said, Z. It's called every multi-platform game running and looking better on the Xbox Scorpio. It's also, also the media likes to do this as well. Man, Microsoft is so pathetic. They got no games. They don't even have a Halo or Gears this year. How bad is that? But then if they do have a Halo or Gears, they've totally relied too much on Halo and Gears, guys. Don't you agree? Like, come on. Am I the only one that sees it?
No,
it's like
it's
goddamn
garbage.
chalkboard. It's ridiculous.
It's hot ass garbage crap, and you're absolutely right. I mean, we look. They made articles to say that PlayStation having a sparse year was smart. Right.
Yeah.
And there was something that was brought up that was really smart. And I think that was a showstopper that said that on the next podcast. He said a lot of these games that we're getting right now were games that were supposed to come out years before, but they kept getting delayed.
Yeah.
And so basically,
in fact, let me see, was it Nier? And that was like a 10-year-old game.
Yeah.
Niho. Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah, but that's the thing that it's just really pissing me off that people keep trying to change the narrative with Sony because they don't want Xbox to prosper, which Xbox is still doing really well regardless of what's going on. Killer Phil has done a fantastic job of the turnaround. I know that you don't like hearing that, Z, but that it's a fact.
No problem with Phil.
Well, yeah, you love that Donnie Matrick, man, and Donnie Matrick put us in this bullshit. But the fact of it is that but now what Xbox has done is put PlayStation in a corner and put those fans in a corner. Look, if it's all about power, then you're going to buy a Scorpio. If it's not about power and it's about the games, then if you go back and you look at how many games has been out on the Xbox One exclusive compared to PlayStation, Xbox dominates in that realm. So where are you at? What is your angle? I mean, because you can tell me about Metacritic scores all you want to. If you feel that 165 people can tell you what to do, then go right ahead. But I know better. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can tell me Persona 5 is better than all the other RPGs that's out there. You can claim to have somebody that puts a pen to some paper and say that shit, but we know better. And for that game that's been out for, and a lot of these JRPGs or these Japanese games that's been out since like 96 and they only generate 1.5 million or whatever, and you have a 60 million fan base, that's dog shit. That's piss water. I'm just being real. I mean, come on, man. You guys just talk about these games, but you don't support it. So, and it's the same way with the Xbox, with Quantum Break and Recore. But what I'm saying, Xbox has been bringing the games, and so Xbox is having a 3-month hiatus. And now they don't have any games? I'm really trying to figure this out. Really?
Hey, also, I know somebody was about to jump in, but I just wanted to say that they act like people just stop playing stuff like Halo and Gears or Forza or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's still, Gears is a go-to game for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we do game night, it's still, we play Gears or Halo or some of these other games. So I think that they mistake that too. And like you said, look, we've got all these multi-plats that are coming out this year. Red Dead 2, Destiny 2, that we're getting a new Splinter Cell. We're getting Assassin's Creed back, a Call of Duty back to boots on the ground, Battlefront 2. We're getting all these great multiplats, and we're getting some refreshing IP from Microsoft with State of Decay 2 that's supposed to be like 3 times the size of the first one with co-op. We're getting Crackdown 3 with total destruction in the multiplayer. We're getting Forza Motorsport 7, which if that demo that we saw from Forza 6 is anything to go on, it's going to be a showcase piece. People are going to buy that just to show off the console. You know what I mean? We're also going to get Sea of Thieves, which is going to be huge with streamers and things like that. And just in general, like I would guarantee that gets a big push. So those are 4 heavy-hitting exclusives with all those other great games. Like, people that are like, they need something bigger. They need this. They need that. I'm like, where the hell would they put it? Honestly, it would just get killed. It would get killed because it's going up against all that great stuff. I'm sure we're going to get some surprises for next year. They're going to show off some stuff at E3. I think Fable. I think Fable will come out next year, to be fair. But, I think they'll show it off, and I think they're going to show off some stuff we're going to get next year. But it's like, where were these people talking about these lack of exclusives? Or they're like, Scorpio really needs to launch with something great. Then I'm like, the Pro launched with dog shit. Nothing, literally nothing. Look at the day it launched. Yes, it got updates for old games, and the Xbox Scorpio will too. Imagine playing Gears 4. They were starting this stuff back with Gears Ultimate. That has 4K assets on PC. Gears Ultimate, Recore, Quantum Break, Gears 4, Halo 5. These games are all
your back compat games, 16 like anti-aliasing, just fucking craziness. Like, it's gonna be really awesome. I think, with the gaming media and all that, they're fucking bunch of crybabies anyway. But what they're talking about is like exclusives and this, that, and the other, and that's fine. But Phil Spencer's only had a couple years in his position now. Like, he's been building, as you can see with the Scorpio and all that kind of stuff. He's building his vision. He's getting it together, and right now, and I think this is the year where you're really gonna see the stuff that Phil Spencer's been working on, his team's been working on, and all that kind of stuff. So I think we need to, cut the shit on fucking Xbox right now. Give them a chance until E3. Let's see what E3 has to bring. And I agree with Crap and everybody else on this panel. I think they're going to have some bombs to show off, like Fable and some other really good stuff. And, people keep downplaying like Crackdown and Sea of Thieves and all that kind of stuff. Now that we know that the fucking Scorpio is going to be able to do what it's going to do, those games are just going to look that much more phenomenal.
Yeah, a lot of people has been talking very positive of Sea of Thieves. There's not been one person.
I wish I could talk about it, bro.
That's talking bad about Sea of Thieves. I wish I had a chance to play it, but there's not been one person that said anything bad about Sea of Thieves.
Let me ask you guys a question, and without breaking any NDAs or anything.
Yeah.
Do you think, a game like Sea of Thieves or even a game like Crackdown would catch on to the casual?
I think Sea of Thieves, and I think they both can. I think Sea of Thieves is going to get a huge push from Microsoft, though, like probably a custom console and stuff like that. I see a lot of streamers wanting to do that, and I think I can say that without affecting anything. We saw it at E3, right? Who did they bring in? They brought in like people, and like you could just see that they're having fun and stuff like that.
Yeah, like everybody you seen when they played that game and like watching them shooting like the ships and all that stuff, everybody left with a smile.
Yeah.
And, without breaking any NDAs, that's how I feel when I play that damn game.
Yes, it's you just smile, like you have a good time. It's a good time game, trust me. It's like that's what it's all about. I haven't heard any.
You thinking Sea of Thieves is going to be a staple IP for them?
I think it's going to be huge.
Honestly. It's going to be a social media juggernaut. I really do. I think it's going to be like, well, I should say a streaming juggernaut. I really do.
Did you see what we just did in Sea of Thieves and all this kind of stuff? Man, I see it right now. It's gonna be
I got a feeling it's going to be huge. Will it be Gears or Halo huge? I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me for it to do millions. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that they're onto something, and I think that a lot of people liked what the hell is that game? Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. But you know what they like best about it? Just being a pirate and out on the seas and the ship combat. And I think that's what this comes. That's what this comes from. Like, it's like a pirate simulator. I guess. That's the idea.
What? Honestly, I'm not being Debbie Downer here. I think it suffers from in the game. In how you say, we kind of judge games by what we see. You know what I mean? And and it's probably a game that maybe this doesn't show well. Over the top explosions or whatever, how it should be, compared to a game like what Sony has come out, like God of War.
Well, it's like Rare. That's their style. You know what I mean? It's like.
Oh, I'm not negating. Maybe I'm not saying that it may not. To me, it's like PlayStation VR. It maybe doesn't show well. It's something you have to experience for yourself. You know what I mean? And maybe like to me, I think Minecraft looks like dog shit. I have no interest in, but it's a huge game. People that play it love it. Same thing with Roblox. People that actually play it, they love it. You know what I mean?
Roblox is the worst thing.
Oh, I hate
it's huge though. You know what I mean?
It is because little kids play it and stuff. So I get that much. I get that, but it's like that game is awful. But as for this, I think this is Rare's big comeback.
I hope
you know
so.
what I mean? I think it's going to do extremely well for them. I'm excited for it.
But what company for 15 years now, 16 years, something.
Yeah. Well, to me, Rare has done nothing but good stuff on Xbox.
Grab by the
I was a big fan. Yeah, I like Grab by the Ghoulies. Not only that, like Rare Replay.
Grab by the Ghoulies was hot, man.
It was a good game. Hold on, I'll tell you this. When I first got my 360, like Cameo, that was a game that I played a lot.
Awesome.
The Viva Pinata was another really good. I like Perfect Dark Zero. I like those games. That was what kept me going.
Cool.
Yeah, that was what kept me going on my 360. They remastered the first couple banjos on the arcade. They really did a lot. I even like when I got my Kinect Sports 1 and 2 was a staple. I like that stuff. Like it's not, and maybe not for everybody. I'm the first to admit that. Just like Persona's not for everybody, right? But at the end of the day, that stuff's fun for me. I enjoyed those rare games. I enjoyed, you know, a lot of the stuff that they've done. Like those games are fun to me. Like Cameo is still one of my favorite games of last generation. Just it's probably a top 5 or 6 for me because I just had so much fun with that. It was one of the first games I played when I got my 360 because, you know, Gears didn't come out for about a year. So it was like Call of Duty 2. Yeah. So it was like Call of Duty and Perfect Dark and Cameo. Like those were the games in Saints Row 1, which was a 360 exclusive. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was a good time. But I wanted to also talk a little bit about this, which you named this, which is they ran the Scorpio version of Forza against GTX 1070, 60, and 80, and it performed like better than these things, right? Like with much more overhead to be had without optimization. So like to me, and they said that the 4K assets only took a 1% bump on the GPU. So basically and that could have been anything. I mean, that is well within range of like a miscalculation. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be anything.
Well, I'm gonna say this, that it's something that it was that shout out to that weirdo ass Joker Rags. Something that I've been saying, maybe it may make more sense now, but I've been saying one thing that consoles have on their side is optimization. I understand the GTX. I don't know how many flops or GTX 70 is, but whatever the case may be. But just because I'll give you an example, just because you have a GTX 1080, I think it's like 10 gigaflops or whatever. All that is not allocated for gaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're on to a bunch of other stuff running in the background, especially Windows is a system hog, resource hog, and you got a lot of other things. I'm not, and so, but if you put things, if it's 4K 60, look like this in layman's terms, it's 4K 60 with ultra settings on the console, and there's also 4K 60 on the 1080 on the PC. What's the difference? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So they're basically looking the same and they're performing the same. They said they were the minor dips, but what he said that the Scorpio actually held on higher than the actual GTX 1070, and that's very impressive. We talk about maybe a $400 or maybe even a $500 console. You know what I mean? I never thought that that consoles will ever catch up to PC again, you know what I mean? Or more or less.
Well, if you listen to Richard Ledbetter, he even said that. He goes, they're going back to their finest hour, which is the 360. Super easy to develop for. Let's be honest. Some of the foothold that Microsoft lost is having a more difficult console to develop for this gen. Also, like you said, and like he said, the 360 was ahead of some PCs at the time, mostly, right? That's what this is doing. Like everybody's like, no way 6 teraflop does native 4K and textures and all, and now we know it does. Right, and people are like freaked out about it because guess what? If they say $399 on this, I'm telling you, not only are they getting, not only are they getting PlayStation gamers on board, they're getting PC gamers on board. And you know why? Because $399 for 4K optimized gaming. You're also going to have HDR. You also have a 4K Blu-ray player. You also have a 4K capture and streaming device. Look up a 4K Blu-ray player. Yeah, exactly. Look up a 4K Blu-ray player and a 4K capture card for PCs. Look up $400 for both of those things alone, and you're probably going to get those for $400 included in the fucking Scorpio with native 4K. 1% or less on Steam gaming native 4K. Every Xbox Scorpio gamer will rack that shit up.
I got
bang.
Oh shit! Damn, he said rack that shit.
I got teased for that saying that last year. I said that. Microsoft is in a position to get a lot of PC gamers on board with this was all flat came from Zach. I did a video about this. I said the Scorpio is going to outperform a lot of people gaming rigs, and I got called everything. But the child of God, Jesus, the Emmanuel, the carpenter. They call me everything, right? And you know what I mean? I had to grab my Bible and pray about it. But seriously, I just look at it, and then again, like I said, when Valve or Steam put out its survey, only 34% of their PC gamers with these powerful rigs or whatever are able to game in 1080p. Only 4% or 3%, 3.5% were able to game in 4K.
It was 1%, bro.
Oh,
the latest one was like 1%.
It might have raised up. I don't know when the last time that.
Whatever. I think they had a newer one.
It's not that much. It's still under 5% though.
Yeah. So again, but you have 100% of whatever Scorpio comes out with at this game, been able to game in 4K. That's going, like I said before, is going to outperform a lot of. I'm not saying that PCs or I think they're confusing each other. I'm not saying that a GTX 1080 is not more capable than the Scorpio. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when it comes, to real world performance, you have specs on paper, then you have, real world performance. And the Scorpio, like I said again, will outperform a lot of people's gaming rig. That's just fact.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I don't, it is what they're very sensitive about that. You know what I mean?
What's another fact though is that I can put in Watch Dogs, the first one, and I could put in Sleeping Dogs, and both of those games will play absolutely fine on the Scorpio. While if I play those games on the PC, they could crash because they don't get the same type of respect or love that console games do. That's something that PC gamers do not address. Is that like I've got maybe about like 250 games on my PC, and out of maybe 250, I probably got maybe 20 games that just will not work. Like, or I gotta, and then like they might work in the beginning. Like I got like Need for Speed, Most Wanted, and I love the game. The game looks fantastic, but then after so long, if I play it for so long, it'll crash. There was a couple of videos I've seen of other people, of other gamers being pissed off and showing Sleeping Dogs, and the game crashed. They show other games. They show Syndicate. That game will crash, and that's the things that the PC gamers don't address. Plus, on top of everything else that you was talking about with how much money that you got to spend, just think about the software, the recording software that you have to get, that you have to pay for as well. And you have to, upgrade your PC if you don't have the right stuff to go with it. Like there's a lot of stuff that I had to learn when I made my rig. So it's not all peaches and cream. It's not lollipops and rainbows over there. They might try to pretend that with that funny ass picture with the thing with the white hair and shit. But in all actuality, developers they would rather have games come on the console because they know that they're going to get their money.
Yeah, going back to what Crap was saying about like the 1% with the 4K textures and assets and all that kind of stuff, that really didn't surprise me because, when Phil and his team was talking about, the memory bandwidth and all that kind of stuff, it's just doing phenomenal stuff over what the Pro is doing. If you think about like the Pro and their bandwidth pipe, it's like the size of a straw, whereas Scorpio is like a fucking fire hose, right? They're able to get those textures in and out of there super fast, and that's what you need for 4K gaming. And that's why I said, like, this design of the Scorpio is just going to blow people's minds, man. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. I agree. I think they've done a good job. And again, like if you like PC, good for you. Like that's fine. I don't care. I'm just saying, like all that nonsense. Yeah, all that nonsense that Scorpio couldn't do it. We now know that it is. It is doing that stuff. That's the bottom line. It's doing it. And I don't even think like there's advantages to Scorpio over PC game. And I'm not saying like if you don't invest the money, you can't get advantages over Scorpio, but I'm just saying for the price that it's going to be $399 or $499, whatever, what you're getting with the 4K capture, the 4K Blu-ray player, a controller, native 4K gaming with 4K textures, all that stuff. I just think that is the best value going. Like you can't top that.
Crap. Like if you look at it, like right, like if it does come out like $399 for the Scorpio, you can't even get a graphics card like a 1080 for that kind of price. They're like $600-$700 for those kind of things to get 4K on a PC. So if you're like a PC gamer that's like, I'm rocking like a 960 or whatever, and I need to upgrade, and should I spend $700 on a graphics card, or should I just go $399 and get a Scorpio if it comes out at that price? Like that's phenomenal, man. That's going to bring a lot of people over into there.
And not only that, we're into a day and age where we get a lot of digital sales on consoles as well. Like I have like 425, 430 Xbox One game. Now, granted, 55, 60 of these are 360 games. But with that being said, you can find, like I picked up all those Resident Evil games for $21. I picked up Resident Evil 7 for like $30. You know what I mean? Like you can get really good deals on this stuff. Like you can already get Titanfall 2 for like $24. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get good deals with digital now. They do sales all the time. So even that whole Steam sales stuff is kind of bunk now. You know what I mean? Like
it's not the same. It's not the same.
You
I will say
get
though,
really good deals.
like day one, like PC games are still a little bit cheaper than
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true. They go down weekly. It's crazy. Like you can get. Like I was looking and I seen, because I'm waiting to get Nier Automata, and it's down to like 48. So I'm just going to wait until it gets down to 30. Then I'm going to buy it. So
Yeah, and to be fair, also props to Sony for they have a lot of flash sales, a lot more than Xbox does. Yeah. And that is the one thing that I always give them props for over Microsoft is like you can oftentimes they'll be like flash sale, and then you can go in and pick up like God of War 3 remastered for $5. Which
dude, that's exactly what I bought. Yes,
exactly
I got God of War 3 remastered for like $5.
Believe it or not, they had here we go. They had NAC digital for $5, and I've been kind of slowly.
Still not worth it.
Yeah, I've been slowly transitioning.
I didn't get that either.
I've been slowly transitioning to get some digital stuff more or less now, for less clutter and just things ease of use. And so, like whenever I'll see the deals for that stuff, even if I already have a physical copy, I'll pick it up just so I can have it. And I do that with Xbox too, just so I can have both.
Yes, and Taurus in the chat, I agree. Xbox needs some of them humble bundles like that PS4 one.
Did you get that GKB?
Yeah, bro.
$15,
man.
And you got 15 games. It was like Darksiders 1 and 2 remasters. It was a bunch of games, man. I bought it.
Is it still going?
I don't know if it is. I don't think it is, but
for a while, like a week.
Yeah, I messaged GKB. I was like, dude, $15 for 15 games. I was like, you got to get this
for PS4 games or for PC games?
PS4. Yeah.
Oh,
and PS3 and stuff. Yeah, it was like Darksiders remastered 1 and 2 and a bunch of other stuff.
Get off the show. Yeah, I'm gonna get off. You can check that out. I'll contact now.
That's what I said. I was like, GKB, get it. I haven't even downloaded that shit yet, but I did redeem the thing. But yeah, because that shit will take me a while to download that. But I've been wanting to play through Darksiders 1 and 2 anyway because I haven't. So that I mean, yeah, that'll be cool to do that. Even though I never usually buy like the multi-plats on PlayStation, but yeah, what the hell? That's for that deal, man. Yeah, it's like hell yeah, dude. Like I wish Microsoft would get in on that.
Absolutely.
If all the shit that I've been talking about, Titanfall 2, right? Well, I didn't buy when I bought Titanfall 2, it was down for $23. But the sad thing of it is that I got 3 versions of it. I got it on the Xbox, I got it on the PlayStation, and now I got it on PC. And I'm like, damn, how the hell did I give this dude this much money? But that, you know what? But it's a good game. It really is a good game.
Yeah, I like Titanfall 2. I thought the campaign was really cool. Some of the multiplayer was kind of regressed a bit in my opinion, but overall I thought that the game was still pretty fucking good. To me, it got a lot of they did a lot of missteps. I think they kind of screwed with Xbox fans a bit. You know what I mean? And
green disc when there's some shit.
Yeah, no, they were wrong for that. They were wrong for that. So.
They really pandered. They really pandered towards the PlayStation crowd, didn't they? Yeah. Well, look. They pandered to the PlayStation audience. They had PlayStation people in for like the testing and stuff, and got their opinions, like the Call of Duty players and stuff. And then when they originally put out the beta, GKB, we played it. What happened? We got pinned back, which never happened in Titanfall 1, where they would just sit back sniping and head glitching and stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Dude,
it was
crazy.
Spawn came. I was like, this is not Titanfall. Like that doesn't happen in Titanfall. Like the way that they changed the game was really unfortunate.
It wasn't Titanfall.
Yeah. I mean, to their credit, they patched it a bit, but still.
Yeah, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that may have hurt the actual sales of the game?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I think the fact that
demo was terrible.
Like, here's a good example. GKB had Titanfall 2 pre-ordered. And then when they're like, we're pulling it from EA Access, you're not going to get this kind of stuff.
That was my last straw, bro. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, they canceled their pre-order. Like a lot of people, I'm the one that got shit for canceling pre-orders, but they did it, and everything's fine.
But right? Because someone else gets to play the game, crap. What the hell?
Yeah. Because other people get to play the game.
The funny thing about that situation with the beta and whatever is when we got in and played it, us being on the Xbox platform, we had something to fall back on and say, hey, this is not like this. And of course, when we went out there on Twitter and social media and stuff and said, hey guys, not for anything, but this isn't Titanfall. Like, of course, we got accused of being fucking like fanboys, and we're just pissed off that it's multi-plat and everything like that. And the fact of the matter was, we're the only ones that have any type of resource to fall back on and say, well, this isn't like the original here. Like, they changed this that much.
I really think a lot of that Xbox came from, because I said this on Xbox Nation when we were talking about this, when it happened, and I really think that they brought in their demographic was Sony fans because they haven't played it, so they brought them in there for their Q&A and what they liked and and they changed it based on that. When they probably should have just gave them the game that we were playing.
They even stated that they built the multiplayer off that, was it that that 3-lane type deal that Call of Duty does,
stuff,
and they didn't do that in the first Titanfall.
No,
So that right there,
so much better.
Yeah, the first Titanfall was really good. Not only that, how does the second one come out years later when there's 50-some million PS4s and probably 30-some million Xbox Ones and do worse? Like, to me, that game would have done much better had they just stuck it with the Xbox exclusive.
Well,
I know that's
between two big
juggernauts. If it was an exclusive, it would have sold just as much or even more.
All they had to do was add a decent campaign to the game and maybe expand a little bit more multiplayer.
The campaign is good. The campaign is great.
I'm talking about this period in Titanfall 2. Hey, you say if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
They should have just shut their mouth. That's what they should have done.
You know what I mean?
I mean, overall, they should.
But you know what's crazy though? They couldn't wait to get their ass over there to the PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying
PS4 bust. I remember that.
Yeah, they couldn't wait to get over there. You know what I mean? They couldn't wait and I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm not. You know, I was kind of. I felt good. I'm like, green disheartened is sexy, huh?
Now we don't even know if that franchise is going to continue on right now. To be honest with you, like.
No, I think EA is going to make their ass work on that chop shot to make that money back.
EA is all about that Star Wars right now.
Well, Star Wars is going to be huge just on the name alone. But I don't know why that guy was so rude and like that to us that we made them. You know what I mean? That's we sold 2 million units at least. And probably more than that.
That's what I was saying. He looked like a broke ass Larry Holmes, man. He was sick and shit. He was begging. That dude was in a motherfucking jogging pants and shit, and fucking a sweatshirt. And he was like, "Please get our game."
Hey, yo, EA gonna drag his ass on stage on E3. He gonna be like, everywhere I go, people ask me about Titanfall 3.
And then the thing of it was that you could tell that he was getting annoyed in interviews and stuff, but the game was overhyped because when we played the demo, it's basically kind of like the same thing that happened with Destiny. When you played the demo, you was thinking that this was going to be something bigger than life, and then it was the letdown.
I Destiny because of that.
And it was the same thing that happened with Titanfall, but Titanfall was absolutely fun to play. It was, you know what I'm saying, and we gravitated to it because of the fact that it was a new IP, it was something original, and the fact that it was kind of like a jab at Call of Duty because of the whole deal situation. So the Xbox fans came out in abundance and supported this guy, and that's something that I'll never ever respect that guy for, because you slapped the hand that fed you, and now you over here wanted to, you know what I'm saying, you thought that you was going to get something better on the other side, and then they laughed and they shitted on you.
Well, yo, Mega, that's what I wanted to say. Like, they looked over at what people were saying in terms of the PlayStation user base and how many consoles were out there, but they forgot to look into the PlayStation gaming community and how they buy games, because they will put games on that high pedestal and say day one buy and everything like that, and then as soon as that sucker release, like 5,000 copies, like it's because they don't buy that.
I got a question for GKB.
Yeah, bro.
Wait, hold on. I done lost the goddamn question. Wait, hold up. Go finish talking. I'll find it again. Hold on. Finish talking. I just found it and clicked it and lost it again. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, man, they should have done their research a little bit more before they shitted on the original community that brought them to where they were. You know what I'm saying? Because like what the PlayStation community, Sony has a hard time selling exclusives over there, and they're gonna sell like the second iteration of a game that was only on Xbox first. Hell no, man, they didn't buy that shit.
All right, I got the question. I found it again. All right, it says here. I forgot the guy's name. It said, question: Why do you guys want PC gamers to stop comparing PCs to a console? What you guys are saying, keep talking about the Scorpio outperforms or kills PC.
Well, number one, we didn't say anything outperformed any PC. We were just saying that the test that they did with Forza Apex and Forza 6 was just running better on the Scorpio. Like PC,
that's something new though. That's sometimes games run better on console than do PC. I mean,
yeah, sure. But I mean, you gotta factor in too. Like PC can run them like any graphical settings and all that kind of stuff too. Consoles is more optimized, so they kind of take some stuff out and all that kind of stuff too. But I think the real thing with Scorpio and PC is they're doing the stuff with almost like high-end PCs are doing now on stuff that's old ass tech. Like that's fucking impressive. Whereas in PC, to get the best graphical experience, you have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars on some of these rigs. Sometimes, not all of them. I get it. You can build gaming PCs for $500-600. I get that. But for the ultimate experience on PCs, you have to spend a lot of money. And I don't really care that they compare console games to PC games. That's whatever. That's what Digital Foundry and a lot of other people do too. But I think you're going to see a much closer experience from console and PC games going forward now with the Scorpio. So
yeah, I agree.
To answer that question too, if the Scorpio outperforms them damn PCs, you better come back in here and being like, oh man, I'm sorry for that kind of shit too, because
they won't do that. Nobody will do that. GKB. It's so funny. It's like a lot of it takes a man, I guess, to say, hey, my bad or whatever. Which I've done that a lot. Like I have no problem going, hey, my bad. You know what I mean? Like, I was wrong on that one. Like that's fine. Like if you can man up and say that, that's fine. But the problem is when a lot of people refuse to do that. So when the Xbox Scorpio does outperform some of these games, and it will, on PC and PS4, nobody's gonna ever talk about that. You know what I mean?
Quantum Break sucks. Look at Quantum Break sales.
Yeah, that's what we're back to. The game sucks and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Hey, look, Quantum Break doesn't even have a reload animation. That game sucks.
Everybody's been talking about resolution and power the whole goddamn time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And checkerboarding sucks. Remember, Quantum Break has checkerboarding, and that's horrible. Yeah, and now it's like the best thing ever.
That's the funny part. Literally, like I never talk shit about the Pro. I think it's cool for what it does, and I think it's really interesting tech as well. But you can't sit here and say native 4K.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I didn't catch it. What did you say? Say that again.
I said I didn't really hate on the PS4. Like I don't really care. I think it's got cool tech and it does what it does. Like
you said the PlayStation Pro, right?
Yeah.
That means you was joking. I know you was joking.
A little bit more.
Hey, send that shit to I know you was joking.
I'm just saying. All
right.
I'm just saying, but the narrative, with the whole resolution and power things, totally flip flopped and all this nonsense now, and now it doesn't matter, and now Xbox doesn't have games.
People act like that stuff didn't happen. GKB. That is the thing that blows my mind. People are like, we never talked about resolution. Resolution gate.
Yeah, Digital Foundry is the one that started that whole shit, and then
they kept it going on. It was Sony. Sony makes Yoshida. But
they're trying to discredit Foundry now because they said Scorpio is fantastic. I don't understand this. How can you sit here and say Digital Foundry is the shit when they're crapping on fucking Xbox games all the time, and then they come back and say Scorpio is fantastic, and now they don't fucking matter. They're irrelevant. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, this is what they're saying now. Now that Microsoft paid off Digital Foundry. They're no longer credible. This shit, sometimes you can't make this shit up. But you know what's crazy? At the end of the day, we're going to get blamed for fueling this console. Of course, you're not. We're going to get blamed for fueling the console war. Just play your games. But we, listen, there have been, again, we get cursed out the other way. I've been called all type of racial slurs, all types of shit. But again, it's crazy as hell. It sucks if you're a vocal Xbox fan. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Trust me, you will get blamed for every goddamn thing. You know what I mean? But I wanted to ask. I have another great. I want to ask you guys here. You said, "Hey, Ben, that you guys are talking about Titanfall. Do you think they will go back in and give that a resolution bump and stuff like that?"
I don't know, man. They're working on Star Wars game right now, so possible, yeah. But.
Yeah, Titanfall.
I don't know if they'll do that one.
When you got Star Wars.
Well, I remember that got slammed too for the resolution, 792p or some shit. Remember that?
What kind of resolution is that? 792p?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yo, it's pretty bad crap. When we play Titanfall 2 on community game time, and then we're all like 30 minutes into the games, we're like, let's go play Titanfall 1 because this was kind of.
Yeah, Titanfall 1 is superior to Titanfall 2. I do like the campaign in Titanfall 2 though, but they kind of messed that up a bit. I think the games that you're going to see get patches is stuff like Rise of the Tomb Raider, and stuff that's on the Windows Store that does 4K. You know what I mean? Resident Evil 7 is gonna get a patch as well. Quantum Break, Recore, all that stuff is gonna get patched up, and it's a really good time to be an Xbox fan right now. Like, and I mentioned this on Xbox Nation on Wednesday. Us Xbox fans went through the shit, like in Shawshank Redemption when he comes out, he goes through the tunnel. You know, he's all covered in shit. The rain, it's raining down on him. He's looking up in the sky. That's basically every Xbox fan right now. We've gone through the shit. We've been called every goddamn thing. We're what are we, refugee camps and this and that.
We're free.
Yeah, and now finally, you know, we're through that, and you know, you would think that people would be men and say, hey, you know what? You're right, man. That Xbox Scorpio, Microsoft, listen, they're doing a good job, especially if they come out at a $399 price point. Like, yeah, congrats, man. You guys got a really good piece of tech or whatever. But then again, there's not very many people that will do that, you know, if any. You know, like where's Boogie and Angry Joe and all these people who hated on the Xbox?
No parity, I'm mad.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, where's that? And now you have PlayStation fans asking for parity. They're like, I sure hope they don't like you know, give the Xbox Scorpio a 4K and just give us a 1440 experience or whatever.
Well, where was that petition when the Pro came out and you guys are getting like all the 4K versions?
Yeah, it's like exactly. You know what I mean? Like it goes both ways. But again, like personally, I'm not going to care as an Xbox fan what's happening on PlayStation if something has better resolution or whatever. But you know, I'm excited for Scorpio. Again, not for necessarily 4K. But because of the better graphics, if I can steal that from next gen, better graphics, better graphics. You know what I mean? Like it's going to look better, and you can see that it looks better. That's what's important.
We need that 4K crap. We need that resolution, man.
Yeah, look, the resolution thing's cool. Like I think it's funny.
Crap, they did me like the Passion of Christ. They hung my ass up, hung my black ass up.
Like, look. I think the whole thing, like it's funny, like the narrative change. But remember, I did call it. I said exactly what would happen. And if you go look at like M4G right now, I'll give you a couple of titles of some headlines. Nobody asked for Project Scorpio. That's a good one. Here's another one. How Microsoft's history will lead the Scorpio to failure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So this is the stuff that Microsoft has to deal with. Also, Microsoft exec denies taking shots at PS4 Pro. That's about Albert Pinello, because somebody asked him, will Project Scorpio have a boost mode? And Albert says, it doesn't need it. The console's boost mode. I mean, I'm like, shots fired. I mean, it's just a joke, but he's like, no, it's not shots. It's just
they needed that dear crap. I've been, especially Mooch. Shout out to Mooch. We've been again clamoring for Microsoft. They've been like a battered woman to me this generation. Like to me, it was just, as you know, I don't remember a little old school. But I'm like, yo, Jesus Christ, they're out there kissing ass. Can't wait to stream Miho, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here, man? Jesus.
Yeah. And they're like, let's all have a party, or let's have a slumber party and play PlayStation VR Resident Evil 7. It's gonna be great.
Someone screaming, my Lord, kumbaya. I said, I'm like, yo,
hey, look, to be fair though, like I told you, man, I did a podcast with the Don the other day. And I think we were either talking off air or maybe during the show, and he was like, and we were talking about that, like Phil doesn't take shots and stuff like that. He goes, man, Phil's a class act. Have you ever raced against his Drivatar? And I was like, no. And he goes, well, his Drivatar races clean. It doesn't hit anything. It totally runs the track like super fast and efficient and wins a lot of the time, but it does so clean. It doesn't cut corners. It doesn't run into anybody or do any of that stuff. So. I think that. I
get it, but Aaron's cocky. Albert Pinello. We don't know how to make a console. We are the creators of DirectX. You know what I mean? I just missed the old. I mean, it's good for
He's back out there though. To his credit, like they probably had a gag on him. Remember, he was out.
I heard. I did.
Gaff all the time and all that stuff and talk all that shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know. They need to get rid of that PR team. Whoever they put the handcuffs and. Slip some panties on Microsoft. They need to fire them. Go back out there to peacocking. Showboating, man. Showboating. I remember they did tweets. Remember Aaron did the tweet about the Xbox One was sold out in Target. He had to clean that up. Like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? I'm like, this is disgusting.
Wasn't that one with Lair that he was talking to or whatever?
Oh yeah, that was a Game Informer, some GameSpot or some shit.
Yeah, you ended up in there, or the fake you. That's hilarious. That's so sad that we're gonna deal with that, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
It's been an exciting week, man. Everybody should be happy. There's we're gonna get the thing that we asked for, even though there's articles saying we didn't ask for it or whatever. We clearly asked for a more powerful console.
We're actually getting more than what we asked for, bro. More.
Yeah, I just wanted an end to this resolution nonsense so we could get back to gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's the main thing that I wanted, because everything should be about the games and not about all this other nonsense. Like the other nonsense is really messed up.
Swing to a different nonsense now. Xbox doesn't have any fucking games for some reason. It's like,
well, yeah. I mean, it's like
3 years didn't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like now, this year, even though with Sea of Thieves, Crackdown, State of Decay, even games like Cuphead, if you're interested in that. But yeah, we don't have any games. The multi-plats for some reason are multi-plat, but they're not going to be on this. Like, it makes no fucking sense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, guys, about the UWP, which is going to be huge for Xbox as well, because now, since we know how powerful that the Scorpio is going to be, when they start getting those PC games and having them cross over to the Xbox, that's going to be like almost exclusives for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be really huge.
Yeah, but the big difference is that they are able to do the 4K textures and stuff.
Yeah, they're going to look better than a lot of people's PC rigs. It's going to be great.
Easy to bring them over and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's a super exciting time. I gotta say, like, I've never been more excited.
I am. I kind of want to save my games so they can look brand new when the Scorpio comes out, you know. But
I keep thinking that too, dude.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing that with like Resident Evil 7. I picked that up, like I said, but I probably won't get around to playing it till after Scorpio comes out anyway. You know, so yeah, it's a really exciting time, man. I am super excited. I think, you know, I think it's about time that we can be excited and not be kind of ridiculed for it and things like that. Like some people just take that stuff way too far. Like you have an M in your name, a Scorpio symbol, you must be this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like get out of here.
They just nitpicked about everything, man. The M's. Man, what's that guy's name? Z Huge blocked everyone. I never spoke to the guy day in my life. Blocked everyone on Twitter because he had M's in their name. Like this shit has been crazy this generation, man. Like what the hell?
Yeah. And then look at all the media. They went from covering the news to just propping up the war themselves. You know what I mean? And now they're all but extinct thanks to like competent YouTubers and things like that, because there's other places to get their information.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, I do have a
question. Thank you, Crap, for that. I do appreciate that.
Who, me?
Talking for all my fellow YouTubers out there.
Now, I do have a question for you guys. How do you, as I didn't get the PlayStation Pro, I got the Slim instead because I just felt that the Pro wasn't. Yeah, I just felt that the Pro wasn't efficient enough. Yeah, shade tree mechanic. But how do you, if the rumors of a new PlayStation Pro coming out at the end of this year, how do you guys feel that, you know, the PlayStation gamers should feel about all that put in the money in the beginning of last year and they had an inferior product, but now they're going to have another one come out? How do you, I mean, how, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can take it, but I'm just like, how do you guys
answer your question? Like I told Crap and them guys before last year about, you know, about maybe too soon to release new hardware and about customers being pissed. It doesn't make a difference. You'd rather be pissed off. They already have your money. You complaining, you know, that you came out with a new console, that doesn't really bother them. If you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. You know, this is the truth. That's just like, look at Nintendo does every other year with the fucking 3DS. Or you know, I mean, it's just the way that the nature of the business is, and that will be the only way. Or that Sony maybe can compete a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, we got a 4K player too. You know what I mean? Or and you know what I mean? Because that's, you know, huge if they stay. I've always said that Sony's going to release another one next year with a 4K Blu-ray player to compete with the Scorpio.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Shouldn't mean that's all they have, Crap.
They're never going to do it.
That's all that they have right now, and going in their favor, you know, is the PlayStation division. So they don't have a problem with doubling down on themselves. This is what makes money for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I still don't see them adding a 4K Blu-ray player.
Why? It's only $10 for a lens. It's not. It's really
Yeah,
not.
they're not going to do it. They're not going to. No, they're not going to do it because they're not going to. They're just not.
They have a standalone 4K Blu-ray player. They,
yeah, it's $300. They are because they're not going to. They're just.
Why?
They've already said because they've already said like a million times that nobody uses 4K. They stream their stuff and all this kind of nonsense. I think it makes them look.
How many things have Sony said in the past? Crap.
It doesn't matter. I think it makes them. Yeah,
I think Sony would probably
for
that, like too, like if they put
exactly
a Blu-ray player in there, like everybody that brought into the Pro and PlayStation to begin with, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck, man? How come you didn't do this?"
You would think that, man, but if you look at the history of Sony and putting out hardware,
I'm not saying they won't do it. I'm just saying
and what people should be pissed off about, and what they don't, and how they still buy it. It's
an option for you.
Oh my goodness!
It's all this is option. If you want it, buy it. If you want a 4K Blu-ray player, here we have one for you.
I think they would be pissy though for the people that already bought one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why?
How does it cost them any money? Look like this. How does it cost them money if someone that already bought your console get mad that she releases? It's like Michael Jordan, right? Comes out with a pair of Jordans this month. Then he releases another pair of Jordan 2 months from now. Oh man, I just bought your Jordan. Who cares the fuck? You already gave me your money.
Yeah, I get it, but Sony's
you
in the
keep
business.
them on your platform,
yeah,
though,
they
and
want to,
software
exactly,
and stuff. So
exactly.
if you alienate them, and then that's the potential of them being like, you know what, I'm gonna go trade this in for a Scorpio now.
Yeah, look what happened to Microsoft, man. That's a cautionary tale. Like they had things. Like I know people will go, oh, but PS3 caught up by the end of the generation, which again, only people that said that was Digital Found or BG Charts. Sony never came out and said that. Microsoft never came out and said that. So you know what I'm saying. But anyway. If you look at the amount of real estate Sony had with the PS2, they got the shit kicked out of them. I don't care how it ended up, especially in North America. And Microsoft was predicted to win this generation by most people, and then they come out and fuck it up thanks to Donnie D. And you know what I mean?
Donnie D.
Yeah, they really, and they canceled a bunch of games. He canceled like the Halo games, and he was the one that started up with that whole Fable Legends nonsense, and you know what I mean? Like just bad choice after bad choice after bad choice from that guy. Focus on Connect, canceled a shit ton of games, closed studios. Really, really bad from Microsoft. Yeah, they had some marketing deals and third party stuff, but at the end of the day, he set them back this whole generation. You know, like if they come out with Scorpio at $399. And I've been on record as saying this, they will catch and surpass the PlayStation 4 because everybody's going to be on board at that price.
I don't know. I still say $450 or $500. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's going to be that expensive. Nothing in that thing screams 500, but I mean, if it is, it's still a good deal. But
the chip, you know what I mean? There's some tech
R&D worries me, like how much they put in R&D and all that.
Yeah, that's what again.
They could bite it because did you hear like apparently they co-developed part of this stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the custom part. So if that's true, they could. Yeah, dude, but they could eat it
because. Drop mic, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you come out $399 with a base bare bones version, I think that's going to sell extremely well. Even at $499, it'll do okay. I don't think they'll top the PS4 price.
I don't think it probably ever could. It's down like 30 million, but at the end of the day, it would sell. But I
would venture to say Xbox One's at probably close to 40 million.
It doesn't even matter. But I'm saying. Well, I look at it like this, just as the Scorpio, here's the thing, as it's reaching its stride, whatever, and maybe I say maybe like in 2018, 2019, Sony's going to start with their PlayStation 5 shit, so this generation, believe started in 2013, so it's already 2017, so we say maybe 3 more years, Sony, or 2 more years or so, Sony's going to start talking about, PlayStation 5.
Maybe I think it depends on if the PlayStation 4 continues to do well.
It's doing well. But here's a question: do you think the PS5 will be backwards and forwards compatible?
I heard
think it'll be backwards compatible.
That it might. Yeah, I heard that it might.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that it is. I mean, they're always going to lack the PS3 backwards compatibility, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they can.
You know what I mean?
With emulators.
No, they can't.
Why?
Because it's because of the tech or whatever. So I think.
Well, I think it's just because of money. I mean, just look at what they're doing with PlayStation 1 games. I mean, like they're still asking for like $20, $15 to $20 for Papa the Rapper. And I mean, we're talking about a game that's 20-some years old.
Who asked for that game? Speaking of games that who asked for, who the hell asked for that game?
That's a cool game. But I mean, just for the fact I bought Twisted Metal Black, and I love Twisted Metal, and it looks like piss water. It's horrible. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. And I mean, like, I would almost feel like I would get a better look out of it if, you know what I'm saying, I could get it off of, you know, just playing it off of the PlayStation 2. I mean, it was really, really ugly. And, you know, if they don't increase the graphics and everything, that's what I'm saying. What Microsoft has done right now with the Xbox, it's setting the tone. And if PlayStation doesn't answer, they will fall aside. And PlayStation doesn't have the resources that Microsoft has. And, you know, I know that it's the most popular system right now, but when people see that if this price is available to where people are comfortable with it, you know what I'm saying, all bets are off. I really do.
Back to like the PS3 like backwards compatibility thing. Like I don't think they're ever going to do that, even if they could, because, you know, they spend all that money for Gaikai and PS Now and all that kind of stuff. It's just not in the cards. I mean, they're trying to put like PS4 games on it right now and testing that stuff.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
to keep that afloat.
Yeah, eventually they're going to put, you know, like all the exclusives will eventually make their way to the Windows 10 PS Now stuff. I mean, that's obviously where they're going with that. So interesting stuff, man. But we pretty much got to wrap it up.
All right.
It's over already.
Yeah, man. Like we've been going out over an hour and a half, man. An hour and 45 minutes, something like that, man. It's crazy. Hey, GKB, man. Thanks for sitting in, dude. What do you got going on? We'll go ahead and let you get a little outro for sitting in with us. What's up, man? What do you got going
I appreciate it, man. It's my first BGST. It was a blast with Z and all you guys. It's fantastic.
Yeah, like hanging out with my black ass. Yeah.
That's pretty fun, man. I just got, you know, I'm doing a bunch of like Scorpio tech videos and stuff. If you guys want to check that out, we're doing Console Corner on Tuesday on Xbox Nation with Crap and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we got going on.
Awesome stuff, man. Anybody else got anything to plug?
Yeah. You guys make sure you go check out Tim's YouTube channel. You see him live. He's getting his yellow belt right now. Doing his kata.
I'll definitely go ahead and do a plug. Check out my channel, K Megafold 5. Also, check out the GRG podcast. That's every Friday night at 8:30 Eastern. Check us out, man. And man, big shout out to Intro Media Gaming and to the next podcast, man.
The what podcast? That next podcast?
That one with that. What's his name? Iron Bot.
Oh, don't you ever, man! I thought we were gonna go in on that today. I was about to say, Mega, don't you dare ever call me Iron Bot ever.
And it was good to see. It was good. It was good working with you again, GKB, man. It's always a pleasure, man, getting a chance to talk to you, brother.
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
Listen, if you want to come game with me right now, follow your boy on not Twitch. I'm sorry. I'm taking my talents to Beam. Come follow me right now on Beam. Next Gen 720, same as the YouTube channel, and come rock out with me. We're about to go live in a few minutes.
Yo, check it out. Snap is doing a live stream from PlayStation. It's a very special live stream. As soon as she gets off of work, check that out as well.
You guys gonna be hitting up that PlayStation room like?
I can't wait. I promised I wouldn't say what game it was or anything like that. But this is gonna be fun.
Is it the pants off dance off? Because that PlayStation freaky, boy.
Dance off. Dance off.
Make sure you guys hit that like button too before we get out of here, man. Thank you guys very much for being around today. Yes, thank you.
Shout out to GKP. We going.